Okay. So, here I have the Kylo Black Series helmet. I've already disassembled it, so unfortunately I didn't get any video before I started this process, but I plan to modify the helmet pretty heavily. Say hello, tiny face. Anyway, over here, the rest of it, basically, we've got the chrome piece, which is made of plastic, of course. The whole helmet's made of plastic, but it's actually a really good quality plastic, in my opinion. Oh, there goes something. That, actually, if I can retrieve it, is the filler where the metallic pieces here don't cover. See, there's gaps in there. So, and it's a bracket that actually I think helps hold on the visor, if I'm not mistaken. And then this is the innards of the helmet that fit along the back, I believe, or the front rather. Yeah, it sits on the front, on the inside, right actually about here where my thumb's at. This whole space here, and you can see the lid for the battery compartment here. And I just have it hot glued in place because it doesn't have anything to snap to because the innards are gone. It's not fully snapped into place right now. And there's some gaps, for instance, where the buttons would be for the voice changer on either side. And then at the top it's not snapping because there's nothing to snap to. But before I paint this, which I will be spray painting this with a couple different finishes, I plan to hot glue it like I did with the cap here. And I used this soldering iron here to cut out the visor. I just kind of melted it off. Worked really well, actually. Got a clean cut. I mean, I wouldn't say clean. I do need to clean this up with sandpaper. But it's an even cut. Did exactly what I needed it to do, so. Anyway, I'll get back with you once I start the next process. Alright, so say hello again, tiny face. Alright. I got the visor cut out, as I showed you before, and I put in the mesh. Well, it's pantyhose. I just got up some pantyhose. It worked. Saw that idea on a YouTube video, actually. So, it's not the cleanest looking thing, because I just basically globbed hot glue all over it and dabbed it with my finger, and it's a high temperature gun, because I didn't want it to loosen up if I was wearing the helmet for an extended period of time and, you know, sweating or whatnot. Didn't want to loosen it, so I used high temperature so it'd hold. Kinda burned, but hey, it's worth it. Let's see. It's not bad. Obviously on the video you can see all the little grains and everything. Not nearly as noticeable when you're really looking through it, so. But yeah. That's all I've done so far. I think the next step is going to be adding some of this padding that I bought to the inside of the helmet, using actually these strips of Velcro that's sticky on the back. I use that, and then I could take the individual pads out, and I kind of did that with this stuff, but I don't like it as much. I just have styrofoam, and I cut them to fit in very specific places, and when they were in the helmet, it made the helmet fit a lot better. Didn't wobble around as much, so that's the idea. I'm just going to replace it with better foam. That way I can then remove it when I go to spray paint it, so. Okay, excuse the nasally sound. I'm still getting over a cold. But anyway, reassembled the helmet so that you guys could see it completely together. This is the this is the on button for the voice changer, and then there's a seam up along here and along here. This is the battery port that I originally had super glued on there, or hot glued rather. Comes all the way down. That there is the volume, the pitch control for the voice changer. Up, down. The seam comes down, and then inside the helmet, we've got These are all the innards at the front of the helmet. And right now I just have this wire. Just kind of crudely ran down. Taped here with a, actually I took this off of an Xbox 360 headset and stuck it on the end of that. It kind of helps. Right now this isn't where it's going to be. It's just there so that it's there. Otherwise, mesh worked very well, I believe. Oh yeah. Say hello, tiny face. Alright. Now, this part I actually removed. It's the headband, basically, that goes up inside of the helmet. This was a nose guard that actually mounted over this piece, which the microphone kind of rested in here facing away, and then all the sound was supposed to kind of come off of this and hit the mic, but it didn't work. It just created a lot of reverb. So I removed that, and this also because it comes way too far back. Every review I've read, every video I've seen says the same thing. So I don't think it's just me and my gigantic nose. So but yeah, it didn't fit. And then this is just frankly cheap and uncomfortable. So that's all scrapped, and I'll be cutting that foam with these scissors to fit into the helmet after I measure some spots where I want it, where I've got Velcro. And the next step will be to put the padding in. Okay, this is the padding that I've cut out. This goes on the left. It'll be about this angle. If the helmet's facing, coming, like it's resting on your head. And then of course that would go back like this. This rests on the back, and this is a filler piece that kind of goes behind it that fits down into the groove. And then this is right above the mouth, rests there, and I actually glued the nose piece onto there so it fits right on the bridge of your nose. So it all worked out pretty well. Right now the helmet's disassembled and I've taken all this out, so I can't show it to you right now, but once I get the helmet put back together, I'll show you. That'll be after I paint though. So alright. So the snow is melted. It's a little above 40 degrees now, so I'd say that's good enough. I've already disassembled it again. I'm going to paint this and see how it looks. I'm going to use a primer first, make sure it sticks. After that, go with some hammered. It's a hammered finish. It's supposed to look like it's been pinged up. And then after that, I'll have the final black satin and then go over it lightly with a gloss. So, and then I'll decide from there what finish I want. But Tiny Face is probably going to get all sprayed up, so say goodbye, Tiny Face. So this is the first coat of primer. Tiny Face survived. And so far so good. Got a pretty even coat. It's already dry to the touch, but obviously I'm going to let it sit for probably overnight. It's going to be even warmer tomorrow, so that's when I'll do the rest of it. It's going pretty good though. Alright, Tiny Face got a little peppered, but I did get the first coat of the hammered paint, and so far it's looking pretty good. I put it on pretty thin, so there's some spots where the primer's showing through quite a bit, but this is not a top coat by any means. It's just for a texture. I'm going to have a black satin and gloss put over this, so far so good. A little light on the back, but yeah, never said I was good at this. But I will be. It's a little windy today, as you can see, but I'm going to try and spray paint this with the first coat of the black satin. So, this is the first coat of black satin. The wind was giving me some trouble, but managed to get it to work. Went on pretty decent and got a little thick in some places, but otherwise, for a first coat, it's not bad. I'll come back over it with the same thing probably tomorrow. Alright, so I'm about to put the first layer of the hammered black on the mask. This should go a lot better because it's not nearly as windy. In fact, really there's no wind, so. Alright, yeah, it went really well, so no wind at all, even coat. It's a little bit shiny because it is a gloss finish, but I'm going to go back over it with something. This is mostly just for texture, so I'll probably do that tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to be going back over this, just lightly spritzing the aged iron, Rust-Oleum stone texture stuff here. See how it looks. So I'm a little late getting back to this, but this is the stone texture. There's little white specks all over it. I don't know if you can see that. But I am going to just go lightly over this with some of the black satin to cover that up. But I want to maintain some of the texture. It's very scratchy. I like that though. It's going to make sure that the hood that I wear over this rests on it in place where I want it and doesn't slide around too much. So at least that's what I'm going for. Satin over it so it's got a little bit more of a sheen again. Otherwise, most of those little white specks from the metallic, or the aged iron rather, spray paint is mostly gone, so that's good. I think after this I might try to see if I can find a decent clear coat, but before I actually apply it I'm going to go ahead and do the little dry brushing and things like that on the scuff marks and do some work around the edges, make it look like it's actually been worn. So that'll be the final step, I think. After that, it should be all done. Okay, I've done some of the detail work. Not a whole lot, and I'm not done yet, but just some basic things. A little bit of work with the silver. I gotta wash it because there's a lot of spots where I was dabbing at it with the paper towel that there's some white fuzz kind of left behind, so I have to work on that, but otherwise there's a bit there. Yep. Anyway, I'll continue to work on that, and eventually I think I've decided that this is what I'm using to put over it once I'm finally all done. It's a spar urethane, can hold up to moisture and extreme temperatures and all that, and satin sheen so it's not too shiny. So, alright. Okay, I've got most of the detail work done, and I am going to go ahead and spray it down like that. Finally a decent day, not too windy. Should be good. Alright. I kind of skipped the process of adding all the different coats, but I did about 5 coats of the spar urethane on this thing, so. And then I decided I was going to reassemble it. See the fabric in here. I tried to scuff up the metal in a few places. Or the chrome looking pieces, I should say. It's all supposed to be metal. Of course it's not. I need to go in, the last part is going to be going in and messing with this black that's between all the chrome, because it looks very artificial and a little too shiny, so I'm going to probably put some black flat paint over it or something like that, just to kind of make the chrome stand out a little more. But yeah, so far I like it. Got all the padding back in. I had to do some adjustments on the nose piece there. I just have the it's just hot glued in place for now. The microphone is. I just got the cord running up along the side. It's hidden under most of the padding though, so. But yeah, that'd be about it. A few more final touches that I'll update with over time, but this is the vast majority of it completed. Alright.